Hello there everyone and welcome back. I had a sudden urge to play with the auxiliary ships of the Tau Empire, for in truth, it has been forever since I played with this fleet beforehand. At least experimented with the war spears and the bastions. With what you would think is the enjoyment that I had with the orc rocks, you figured I would be playing with the Kroot war spears a bit more. Sure, I don't really have much interest in playing with the 4 war spear type of fleet that we've seen before they nerfed the diplomat skill, but I am eager to have more fun with them, and hell, upon realizing I have an extra 100 points from when I originally made this fleet, I decided to revamp it a tiny bit, especially when you consider that the Seeker Turrets can kind of work with all the battleships. I did, swap out the cruiser which was meant to protect my flagship and just substitute it for a second war spear. I'm still going to stick with the 2 bastions because I kind of like their mobility the way they are now, as opposed to the bulkiness and the slower nature of the stronghold, even though we witnessed that they're a little more maneuverable than you can give them credit for, because hell, look at the rotation speed. Almost every single normal battleship in the game only has like a 4-degree turning speed. So when you look at this, that has basically a built-in high energy turn almost at will. That's, at least I believe that's the, that should be the triple amount. I forget if high energy turn is 3 times the rotation speed or not, but still. That is quite mobile, and that's not even including the experimental thruster manifolds to increase that further, which alas, I am not going to be utilizing here since I do want to get the additional bravery to keep these things in line, since they are pretty fragile without it. And just for fun's sake, to see if there's any practicality to Seeker Turrets, I'm going to be utilizing that as well. And we got ourselves finally a different kind of portrait to take advantage of, since the Tau alas are kind of bare bones it seems like. That would be my opinion anyway. It's a bit of a silly fleet, it's a little bit everywhere, but it should be fun nonetheless, especially since we're having a theme with a whole bunch of new players kind of surge in through the sale and the free-to-play weekend. So I don't want to go too try-hard, so let's have a little bit of fun. Okay, we're going to face off against orcs, which we're kind of playing to their ballpark, or playing their game with the close-range nature I want to be with these Seeker Turrets, so it makes me wonder if I want to switch up my upgrades with that said. Since my rocks, or my war spears, can still shoot at a good distance. I am contemplating switching this out because we are facing against orcs. The further away I am, the less likely that their mega cannons, assuming they're utilizing mega cannons, can not be effective. And with the convenience of these things kind of almost turning on a dime, as weird as it may seem, especially in combination with the all-head full, this can be activated at will, which is kind of the real charm of these war spears. Just on how ridiculously they can just change directions. It's kind of nice. And part of the reason why I think there's a lot more practicality to these rocks as well as the war spears. Never mind the fact they're immune to critical hits. There's so much I like about it. With that said, do we have asteroids? Yes we do. We're going to charge these up, get their kind beams active, and although they're going to be hard pressed to get full value against rocks, or orcs rather. But if they can kill one, or at least cripple one for me, that sets the pace up nicely, and they can serve as a decent enough bait if they're able to flank them. Although, we gotta remember they're gonna be visible at all times. This isn't Armada 1 where we had the convenience of stealth alloy to keep them concealed. And also, it is important to keep in mind we are playing an objective-based game too. Although orcs kind of got the better position in that case. So, frigate there. This looks like 5 battleships of some kind. I was a bit worried maybe I didn't wish my opponent good luck there, but do I really want the engines? It certainly doesn't hurt. And we'll give them some time to charge up. And from what I understand, wreckage now works with the Cunning Beam, or at least charging it up. So I should be paying attention to see if there's any wreckage when I deploy, to allow for additional opportunities to position myself. Although we are seeing a beacon, so that gives away our opponent is lesser, or at least has less experience, or at least lower admiral level. It's kind of wrong, kind of harsh to say that they're like a less experienced opponent, since they could be trying to orc for the first time. So I shouldn't be... I need to get rid of that discrimination, because it may not entirely be true. But our cutting beam's fully charged. Now let's get them going. And then, well, actually I have a lot of frigates, so... or a lot of fighters, so I can conveniently just go and spot and at least get a tell of what we're up against. And with 4 charges of these fighters and seeker missiles, it'll be pretty nice. Hell, let's not even forget about the repair drones, which synergizes so well with the durability of these war spears. So I am going to be more often not playing a game of attrition, until the Demiurg get the hits they want. And of course, they're kind of the most fragile portion of this fleet, let's not kid ourselves. They need to get ridiculously close, and with my opponent always able to see them, if I mess up on the attack, then they're pretty much dead, even with their AC armor prow. They're not going to do much for me, so I gotta have them dive in when it counts. And sure, you may reveal me. That's not a big deal just yet, outside of maybe a couple of saps to slowly whittle me down. In which case, if these are battleships, they only got like 5 saps, which shouldn't be all too terrifying. And hell, I might be willing to boost with this war spear to group up as well, once it grabs this objective. Otherwise, not much else to say. Okay, mega cannon, torpedoes. Oh, they're fighter bays. Conveniently, I'm kind of well equipped for this, with pretty much 3 ships that have at least 2 fighter bays on them. This probably means I should switch to brace for impact, though, just to have the additional value at the point defense. I wasn't expecting to have my frigates also kind of brace for impact, but I got the intel I needed, and they have no way to conceal themselves. Also, let's check the upgrades. So this is standard low-level stuff. At least what I'm seeing here. And you will be joining us momentarily. This is really nice convenience with this booster, all ahead full. Imagine how easily it is to dodge torpedoes with this thing. If you witnessed how well I dodged them with the rocks in my previous videos with the orcs, for crying out loud. And these things are like probably one of the biggest ships in the game, outside maybe the Custodian. Another beacon. How many saps do these things have? Just the 1. I was kind of expecting the mega cans just in case, since I knew those have a single sap. I didn't know if these ones had more. So let's start firing. Again, gotta be very cautious of their fighters. Actually, I have experimental railgun. Oh, time to launch fighters. Let's get these to good use. And I would love to get a double hit of some kind, but let's not get greedy. Oh, evasive maneuvers. Can this dodge? Nope, it took the hit full on. I was a little bit slow paying attention to that. So I kind of want the flagship to be priority, and hell, maybe just go after a deck. Because if I can possibly kill this, then that does me well. I just gotta get my war spears in position. And hell, that's kind of what the Demiurg's gonna be for, let's not kid ourselves. My fighters are coming back. I was a little bit worried there at first. But that's what I want. I want these Demiurg to flank and just ambush the hell out of this thing. All the while having this flagship kind of harassed with seeker missiles, if possible. It's just going to be awkward trying to do that, because I might hit myself here. Okay, I didn't hit myself. That's the one awkward thing about this ship, even though I love the potential of this battleship. Just probably not the most conventional, if truth be told. No, we're doing good damage on this thing too. Alright. I'm not quite going to get the flagship hit I want, but let's try. and murder this thing well. Nope, I gotta remember, those are broadside arc. I want to have them face the prow. Like this. I think it's safe to say how well this is working. It's not quite dead yet, so let's not get careless. I feel like a bit of a jerk now, because I was talking about trying to have fun and not be so try-hard, and yet we just mutilated this battleship with very little effort. I still feel like a dick with that said. Uh-oh. Oh, they're gonna ram themselves. We got mutiny in the ranks. But now, let's finish off this flagship, I suppose. This is a bit of an awkward mess. And now, the cutting beam's actually charging up on the wreckage of that battleship. This was bugged before, where the cutting beam wouldn't benefit off that. Now, you are now a broken wreck. And that's just being bored to death. That's, yeah, there's not much else to really say. This is pretty much over. Despite my best attempts, and I do have the repair drones, which I don't need to tell you how amazing this would be in this situation. Repairing everything, including the war spears, which are still in phenomenal position. Do I have experimental railgun? Another 6 seconds. Ooh, we might actually kill off the crew on here. We have enough troop damage, I just don't know how many of those are from the war spears, which actually have better boarding damage potential. I want to say it's still going to be a victory, considering we have 11 boarding results still. Alright. Morale's about to break on this one ship, and there's not much they can do. Yeah, this is a nice convenience. Just being able to charge off the corpses of my enemy. Now the Demiurg can truly shine. Where before they're kind of a bit of a one-hit wonder, relying solely on the asteroid belts. Although that's how they functioned anyway in the tabletop and in Armada 1. They could charge off the wreckage. I just honestly can't remember if it says in the wording of the ability itself. But now I regret taking this fleet. I feel like a monster just let loose to murder everything in my sight. Let me just make sure. Does it say? Yeah, or if there's wreckage. Okay. So it was a bug before. I just want to double check to be sure that it was accurate. Okay there. So we're going to be having ourselves a little bit of a different match. Although, in truth, I don't even recognize the name Sandy. Unless they changed their name throughout one of the seasons, I honestly couldn't tell you. Since where were you when I was trying to play as Azuyani? Although, given the rank and the identification, we're probably dealing with the 6 cruiser fleet. I'm gonna go with a wild assumption anyway. Since that was, at least, the prevalent type of fleet, we'll see if we can somehow be victorious in that bout. Since I do have at least a couple of fighter squadrons to help me out, but I'm still gonna get outnumbered. There we go. I was wondering why it wouldn't let me type there first. Either way, we got our work cut out for us, so these war spears are gonna try. Aw. Yeah, I don't know how I'm gonna hit you with torpedoes. Those are secret missiles. Either way, criticizing our adversary aside, well, I'm going to need brace for impact. I think that's going to be the assumption what we're up against. And these war spears serve as great bait. because what we talked about before, they are kind of amazing at dodging the seeker missiles. How the hell are we going to deal with the rest of the weaponry, though, is the problem. I have repair drones to help some. This is going to be tricky, since my opponent in theory should never be able to let me in close. So I'm going to have to stick with the thruster manifold and not so much the seeker turrets. Once they realize, actually, these go at almost the same speed, so it's possible the Demiurg could run them down, to a limited extent. Let's not get too excited about that prospect, though. And then what do I want with these frigates? Ideally, the kind of spot for any of their frigates. I don't know if I'm only seeing like maybe 1 or 2 ships. We're healing. We got a lot of solid running. Interesting. So we actually got ourselves kind of a light cruiser fleet. Oddly enough.
The ethereals guide us.
Which begs the question with that is, oh, just Demiurg. Huh.
Demiurg, brother.
Well, we got ourselves not a serious match, but this will be an interesting one nonetheless, because I have the help for this. And at least for the moment, I'm kind of misleading my opponent vaguely, in that I only have 3 capitalist ships. But they'll learn the error of their ways momentarily, but if we're dealing with sauces, emissaries no less, do I really need to brace for impacts? I don't think I need to brace for impact anymore, since after all, we have the fighters to at least deal with the seeker missiles themselves. It's the overwhelming number of fighters that made dealing with the seeker missiles difficult. And that's no longer an issue, I want to argue.
You have seized a strategic area.
Okay, I do have brace for impact to deal with the Demiurg some. Now, we see my opponent likes to do stealth route. I kind of wonder if I want to leave this war spear here, as dumb as it may sound. Since we know where the big scary threat is, and it's in that asteroid belt. And, I do want to launch these fighters to kind of serve as a bit of an early warning, too. I like that idea, but I need to have some fighters still available for... in case they want to try and commit to seeker missiles. Actually, I should stick with the brace for impact. So that way I have the convenience of using these fighters as kind of that sensor net. Since this should cover this entire arc, up to the celestial body at least. And then at least that'll give me some early warning. And once I grab this objective, my opponent has to come to me. Then I don't have to do much else from there on out. Until these fighters start recalling. And they also have emission dissipators. We kind of heard that as well, to be fair.
Ready for orders.
Alright, I heard scanner pulse. Okay, we know where it's at. Not a big issue yet. Just gotta be ready to reveal their ships when it's warranted.
Demiurg Brotherhood responding.
Okay, so you have a custodian as well.
How may I serve the tower?
Alright. I have brace for impact to help with this, but again, custodian... well, color me disappointed.
How may I serve the tower?
This is not nearly as threatening as it could be. I just gotta keep an eye on what these are going after. And apparently it's the flagship. Okay, there's the fighters there. Oh well, we had practice dealing with seeker missiles, especially ones by themselves. Hell, I'm almost half tempted to just let these hit the frigate instead. Although, we didn't eat all of them. Now.
Honor the teachings of Viola.
There. Although, I don't have any fighters to deal with these the best. But they're only Demiurg fighters or bombers, let's keep that in mind too.
How may I serve the tower?
And I'm wondering when the custodian bombers came out.
It will be so.
Alright,
All sphere, all speed.
we could deal with these pretty well. Battleship's gonna grab the objective relatively decently. I just know to recall my fighters. Hell, speaking of which, did my fighters even notice those frigates in time?
Here to fight for Tau.
Because I can grab that easily enough. Just gotta let my boosters recharge. And have these fighters intercept the bombers. That's the best thing I could do, although again, those are Demiurgs. And hell, let's keep in mind, I don't even need to come after my opponent.
Shapers say we obey.
We could deal with these relatively well.
Mining ship underway.
Just use this to conceal myself some.
We serve the Korvacha.
I don't have to do much.
Patient hunter gets the prey.
You have seized a strategic area.
Something to mine there.
Yeah, not very exciting there. I just don't want to play my opponent's game there. Since we have the objective, they have to come to us. And Demiurg can charge up as a bonus. And also, I do have repair drones, so might as well, since I kind of was negligent on paying attention to the bombers. But now I have fighters available.
At your orders.
And with that said, we have a way to deal with these secret missiles if my opponent's going to launch them early.
Kroot here to fight for Tau. Surveying location.
You have accumulated
Alright, that works out well.
25% of strategic points.
The patient hunter gets the prey.
How may I serve the Tau Val?
So, we have 3 points. We'll let them come to us, I guess.
Demiurg Brotherhood responding.
And see if my opponent actually forgets about these to an
Mining
extent
ship
too.
Underway.
Because a war spear is nice, but I only need one back here
Demiurg
to
ship
cover both
at
these
your
points.
orders.
The enemy has accumulated 25%.
We know there's like a
of
Demiurg of
strategic
some kind, so
points.
let's be cautious of that fact.
The ethereals guide us.
How may I serve?
And also, we have experimental railguns, so
Drones have identified an enemy target.
let's have fun with that. Although, let's keep in mind the dang repair drones too. Could cause problems.
The tower. Corel, ready.
Something
If those are bombers, I could easily just take them out. Oh, they're just fighters, so.
Drones have identified an enemy target.
We have seeker missiles. I can dodge those to an extent.
responding.
Maneuvering thrusters engaged.
Now, let's actually engage these and watch for the fighters.
Underway.
Because this works out well to an extent.
Barracuda shoals launched.
Surveying location.
I gotta make sure I'm not ramming myself in the process, though.
Demiurg ship at your orders. Mining ship underway.
At your orders, Corel.
Someone's running scared, and now we have a Demiurg to deal with.
Drones have identified an enemy target.
Something to mine there.
Maneuvering thrusters engaged.
There, that works out nicely. Not quite, but it works out nicely.
Brotherhood responding.
You have accumulated 50% of strategic points.
Surveying location.
Calculating new vector.
Alright,
Cast ready for orders.
give it a moment there. Got some work to do, and
Drones have identified an enemy target.
we have scanner pulse to take advantage of too.
Mining ship underway.
And that's taking a lot of damage. I just gotta repair now.
Orders.
Get that moving, grab the objective, because we have that in our advantage.
Demiurg Brotherhood responding.
The ethereals guide us.
Now, don't know if we're going to hit as much as needed, but
For Anva it will be so.
on the plus side, at least the damage is being spread for now.
A fresh kill for the tribe.
As the ethereals wish.
Demiurg ship at your orders.
Now, we have Kine Beams, we have this, getting ramming range, so please continue to do that.
Will devour their bodies. Demiurg Brotherhood responding.
At least they're running quite notably, but
Demiurg ship at your orders.
we still got our work cut out for us, so
Surveying location. Mining ship underway.
Kine Beam didn't quite do nearly as much as it could have there, I'm afraid
Demiurg
to say,
Brotherhood
but
responding.
Barracuda shoals
we have
launched.
repair drones, we have seeker missiles,
Demiurg
and
ship
are you being repaired right now? Yes, you are actually.
Gravitic drive engaged. Maneuvering thrusters engaged.
You have seized a strategic area.
Demiurg Brotherhood responding.
You have seized a strategic area.
Honor the
Can we kill
teachings
this?
of the Order.
You have
That answers that
accumulated
question.
25% of strategic points.
We're not out of the woods yet, because remember, if this flagship dies, I'm going to suffer a huge morale penalty.
Demiurg ship at your orders.
Now, let's try and board this.
Something
And
to
ideally
mind
kill its engine,
there.
since I never did prioritize it the best.
Corel, let
That was a bad. That was bad. For some reason, I thought that was my experimental railgun.
The enemy
If
has
truth be told.
accumulated 50% of strategic points.
Well, it was still sort of a serious match, I guess. I had the convenience of forcing my opponent to come to me. It still felt a little bit messy, though. I won't lie. But hey, it worked. Even if the Demiurg were kind of a little wasn't a little bit disorganized, and my one war spear did a bad job of babysitting the points. So I can still feel good about that, right? Alright, Adeptus Mechanicus. My war spears are going to be amazing at dodging the potential Novacans, but everything else is a potential. Well, with the repair drones, I could kind of weather the storm decently. I sadly don't have the shield health to kind of negate the best. Assuming we're dealing with a heavy Novacan type of fleet. Oh, and I have the wrong colors there too. I was hoping for my Farsight cosmetics. Either way, let's see how this plays out. Do I? Well, I still would like to have the war spears. Oh, this is the wrong damn fleet, dang it. That's a little unfortunate. Because now I have like 90 points not being utilized. I think what happened there is I had a connection to a game, it dropped me back to the main menu, and then I chose the wrong fleet. So now we're going to be playing while handicapped. It's the moral of the story here. We'll see how well this plays out for me. Either way, I can grab this. I have at least one war spear to grab the objective. And if somehow this could draw fire, that would be kind of nice, but... Well, the speed increase in the high energy turn is going to be important for the Novacans. Other than that, morale goes without saying. I kind of need that to keep everything in line. Since otherwise they're going to have what? Minus 25 bravery there. Minus 25 bravery on both. That's kind of interesting because it says plus 60, but I'm pretty certain it only goes up to positive 15 bravery once it's applied. If I'm remembering it correctly, at least. Let me just check that to see.
Aircast ready for orders.
Yeah, bravery is 15 there, and bravery is 15 there, so something's misphrased. Okay, so we're seeing more of the same here. So I'm going to assume this is 3 battleships and a bunch of frigates.
We serve the Korvacha.
The enemy has seized a strategic area. You have
And I have
seized
the
a
mobility
strategic
to easily negate at least the potential of the Nova cans.
Your orders, Koro.
And with the experimental railgun, I could do a lot of damage for long term.
Demiurg Brotherhood responding.
Actually, I think I have enough charge there. I could just go through this asteroid belt and it'll charge up the rest of my fleet. That's what it looks like we're up against, though. And the War Spear is going to be amazing in that regard, but it has to be the focus of their fire for that to really matter.
Korel, ready.
That's going to be a trick there, and I got to keep an eye. Well, I always want to make sure that I'm looking at my fleet in case of Novacan shots.
Orders, Koro.
That is kind of a given.
The Tauva shall prosper. Bombing run underway.
So let's see if we can intimidate this thing a bit, or not.
Ready.
Demiurg ship.
Because I would love this to take the hits. That kind of is a given. Okay, silent run there. That's fine.
Ready for orders.
Burn your stance.
Aircraft
I'm okay with
ready
that
for
to an
orders.
extent.
Serve the Korvacha.
How may I serve?
And sadly, I have the wrong type of ship as well. Oh, I do have the seeker missiles.
Kroot here.
So that's not a problem.
Demiurg Brotherhood responding.
Actually, these ships are fine.
Crew.
I just gotta watch
At your
for Novacan shots. Since that's 1 free frigate gone there,
Korel, ready.
with 5 more potential to go.
Something to mine there.
Alright.
We serve the Korvacha.
So this is Blessing of the Omni Sign, I'm assuming, if you're gonna try this. So watch for where that 3rd shot is.
Get us moving. Shapers say we
Since I am taking shots from lances and I don't actually see them, that's a bit of a burden.
Focusing on your position. Drones have identified an enemy target.
Alright.
You have seized a strategic area.
mining ship underway.
Now, I have been doing a bad job using my experimental railgun, with that said. So let's try and correct that.
Something to mine there.
Actually, let's see about getting behind them. Try to anyway.
Surveying location. Mining ship underway.
The enemy has seized a strategic area.
Now, can we get everything in here? Because
Ship at your
sadly, that's going to do a crap ton of damage there.
Demiurg Brotherhood.
Especially with the prioritization of the deck, too. I do have Rally to help some, but
There.
let's at least get this prioritized some.
Surveying location.
Because my damage potential is not that great, and my War Spear is doing a horrible job moving as well.
Mining ship underway.
Bombing run underway.
Surveying location.
So good damage there. It doesn't mean much just yet. Can that? It's currently marked right now, so not helpful just yet. Try as I might.
Can't outrun us.
Good damage so far, but...
At your orders.
And you are out of range because of the deck being destroyed, so...
As the ethereal
A little unfortunate there.
Demiurg ship at your orders.
power shall prosper.
So that's gonna get caught in there, sadly. And it's gonna take heavy morale damage as a bonus. Yeah, this is bad display of control here at the moment.
Ship underway.
And that's not quite the flagship, but
How may I serve the tower?
let's see if we can intercept these some. Sadly, that was negated quite well, but flagship is kind of screwed right now.
The enemy has accumulated 25% of strategic points.
Doing a terrible job controlling my fleet there, sadly. Because I should not have let that war spear kind of disengage like it did after all.
Something to mine there.
It is being bored. We're not quite out of the woods though. Because this... Yeah, I got no critical hits of note on the Eater on the generators, so this thing is likely going to survive. Oh, temporary damage, so there might be something good going for us here. Can we weather the storm? Because morale damage is still staying, let's keep that in mind.
Begin operations.
Try and kill these, destroy the generator ideally. Which is not likely to happen.
The enemy has accumulated 50%.
And I need to make sure morale doesn't break in about for another 50 seconds about. And apparently, my deck's I just got the ship jammed even though I have no deck. Or at least no critical hits. That is an interesting mechanic. That is a little bit unfortunate. Because I was feeling optimistic about my chance to kind of at least cripple them quite heavily, but I did a terrible job controlling my fleet. I'm not happy with myself there. Because, yeah, my flagship was nowhere nearby to take advantage of the rally, so I let a bunch of my ships have a mutiny when it's not necessary. Never mind the fact that could have negated the deck. Let's keep that in mind too. I didn't think much about it, but if I can use a rally, I don't know if... Yeah, if rally and encouraging speech would negate that. So that was my own damn fault there for letting that happen.